The CPI numbers just came in as expected at 6%, which means we have a yearly 6% inflation. Month over month, we actually came in at 0.4%. This is for regular CPI. And for core, we actually came in at 0.5%. This is exactly as we were expecting, which in theory is very good and very bad. As you have the bank failures right now, the Federal Reserve does not know what to do. They're between a rock and a hard place. They need to keep raising interest rates to curb inflation. However, they probably can't do that because as they're going to be curbing inflation and raising interest rates, they're going to demolish our economy. At the same time, our economy is eroding due to inflation. Guys, inflation is officially at 6%. Does it feel like inflation is at 6%? It's through the freaking roof. Everything is really, really expensive and everybody is complaining left and right. Even the people that you assume have a lot of money are complaining about inflation. Honestly, just listen to what people are saying. And if you can't raise the interest rates by as aggressively as you wanted to, you have three options. Stay neutral, don't do anything, lower interest rates, or raise them not as aggressively. The Federal Reserve has an FOMC meeting next week. That FOMC meeting, if you were to look at the numbers, CME Fed Watch, which is what the market believes the Fed is going to raise the rates, if you looked at that meeting 2 or 3 weeks ago, it was like 100% chance between 50 or even 75 basis points. There was literally no chance of a neutral rate. And now if you look at the Federal Reserve Watch tool, it didn't update yet because I'm doing this video pre-market, 80% chance it's going to be 25 basis points and 20% chance is going to be no basis points, neutral. Because the inflation came at neutral today at 6%, which is what we were expecting, whether you believe the numbers are fudged or not, this opens up the door for the Federal Reserve to kind of say, hey, we're not going to raise interest rates, or we won't be as aggressive, or we'll only do 25 basis points. And they kind of have to do that because they're going to collapse our whole economy. But when they're going to do that, our economy is eroding due to inflation. In the short term, I personally feel that the market is going to rally from this next FOMC meeting until the next FOMC meeting. I sold out of all of my short positions. I sold out of my short on real estate, short on NVIDIA, short on NASDAQ, and short on the SPY. I also ended up adding a position today. I added a position called TQQQ, which is the opposite of short NASDAQ. It's long NASDAQ. It's 3 times leveraged. On top of that, I actually bought a 1-week option for the 3x leverage to make myself super leveraged that I'm bullish for the next week, right until the FOMC meeting. Next week on the 24th is when this option is going to expire. I think tomorrow is going to be an extremely important day. Although the PPI is not what the Federal Reserve looks at the most, it is definitely going to give them, a running head start to not be aggressive in the next meeting. If the PPI comes in tomorrow as expected and not hot, expect a very strong rally. Now, when I say rally, I don't mean a bull market. I mean there's a rally in a bear market. Very much, I think our economy is absolutely foobarred and there is no answer. However, the drop can come in a day, a week, a month, a year, 10 years. Nobody really knows. Everybody points to Michael Burry. Every time he says the market's going to collapse, the market's going to collapse. And by the time the market actually did collapse, I think it was like 3 years until his call was right. Same thing happened during coronavirus. Everyone said the market's going to collapse, the market's going to collapse. But then we had 2 years of the best market, in history or something. Practically in history. So yes and no. It's very hard to exactly pinpoint what is happening. And the market from the pre-market seems like it was rallying like an absolute son of a bitch between the crypto market and the entire stock market. For real estate, I think that the mortgage rates are going to go down a bit after what's going to happen right now. Why? Because our 10-year yields are going down. And as the 10-year yields go down, the mortgage rates are based on the 10-year yields. I think cryptocurrency has a very, very big chance of rallying against the NASDAQ even more so, the way it was before COVID, the way it was before people infiltrated it, before the way it was when it was pure and the way it should have been as a run for safety and a hedge against inflation. I know that's not what we've been seeing, and I'm not saying it will happen. I'm saying I am seeing evidence of this happening, and I've been saying it for the last 2 or 3 weeks. That doesn't mean it will. It could just be coincidences, but I am seeing an evidence of what's happening to crypto that is kind of starting to depeg from the NASDAQ. If you have positions in the stock market, be excited. I do think the stock market is going to rally. Does it mean that it's guaranteed? No, it's not guaranteed. But because of what's happening right now with the inflation report coming in as expected and PPI probably going to come in as expected, expect the Federal Reserve to do a 25 basis points or possibly a neutral basis points. And they're going to do this because they have a lot of downward pressure from the government. Although the Federal Reserve has nothing to do with the federal government, it's not officially a federal agency, it is very much influenced by the federal government. We all know that. The head of the Federal Reserve is appointed by the president. So we all understand what the heck is happening here. All right, the markets are about to open. Currently, Bitcoin is sitting at 26,000. If you look at Bitcoin, I believe that it had higher even, right? So Bitcoin hit actually 26,500 at one point, which is absolutely freaking ridiculous. If you look at Bitcoin for the last week, it literally went from 19,500 to 26,000. You literally would have made 30% on your money in the last week if you held onto Bitcoin or bought Bitcoin at that low. It's absolutely astonishing. The entire crypto market is actually up 10% to $1.13 trillion. And of that 95 billion, about 9% of it was DeFi. As I always tell you, the DeFi of crypto is only 5 to 10% of the volume. Most of the cryptocurrency trading happens on central exchanges. As the market is open, the NASDAQ is currently up 1.7%, the Dow Jones is up 1%, and the S&P 500 is up 1.5%. This is the CME FedWatch. They're saying that there is an 82% that the Fed is going to be raising the basis points by 25. Currently, we have 4.5 to 4.75. 82% chance the market is believing that it's going to be a 25 basis points rate hike and a 17.3% that it's going to be a neutral rate hike. We were not supposed to have a neutral rate hike. We were not supposed to have a 25 basis point rate hike. We were actually supposed to have a 50 basis point rate hike based on the last data that we had, based on the last reports that we had. The 10-year Treasury yield is at 3.6%. For everybody that's doing the real estate, your mortgage rates are not 100% based on the federal funds rate. Your mortgage rate is based on the 10-year Treasury plus. That's how it works. As the 10-year Treasury goes down, mortgage rates go down. As the 10-year Treasury goes up, mortgage rates go up. The reason why the 10-year Treasury is going down is because the market believes, the economy believes, that we will have less inflation in 10 years than we have now. The reason why they believe this is because they believe we will have a recession, and a recession will reset our economy. That's the way it works. As the 2-year is going to go up, you believe, or the 1 year is going to go up, you believe that inflation is still going to be high in the next 1 year or 2 years or in the short term. But in the long term, the 10-year is going down. So what do we know is going to happen? Probably crypto is going to rally very hard right now. Probably the stock market is going to have a decent rally. Real estate. The prices are going to come down for mortgages, which means more and more people are going to buy. Maybe this is going to be an extremely good selling opportunity as mortgage rates are going to go down. In my personal opinion, people might be picking up real estate. And this is my market update. I hope this helps you in some way, shape, or form. If you want to support the channel, I do have channel membership. I have a link down below. If you don't want to support the channel, that's fine as well. I also have a link to my free Discord down below. Guys, happy trading, and whatever I'm saying is not financial advice. I could be right, I could be wrong. I'm sharing my plays right or wrong, and I am absolutely right or wrong. But as long as I'm right 51% of the time and I'm wrong only 49% of the time, then I'm still going to make a shit ton of money. Guys, have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.